An Anti-Advertising Guide. Chapter 1. Advertising is an attempt at mind manipulation. Persuasion in advertising. Advertising is persuasion. Somebody told me that there's a covered body of knowledge out there that discusses the hidden manipulation techniques advertisers use privy only to deep insiders in the biz. I read something about this in a book on subliminal manipulation. They say that when you ask advertising executives about it, they will all lie and say it doesn't exist. There are no secret brainwashing techniques of advertising. I read the several Brian Wilson Key books back in the day on subliminal seduction. He said there was a man and a woman walking on a beach in a glass of whiskey in a whiskey ad. He said there was an orgy on a plate of clams in an ad. He said there were penises in a Christmas wreath in an ad. He had his little run of fame, then people got tired of him because it seems like a stretch. Advertising works, but I think it has more to do with trying to ease loneliness among the people, all of us being existentially alone. For people like me, if I hear something that sounds practically useful, I will listen, but they go too far too, like the doom and gloom radio talk shows advertise survivalist food like buy a 2-year supply for a few $100. Everything is advertising if you let it be. I personally think it's peer pressure, wanting to be part of the in crowd and not wanting to feel left out. Advertisers hook in a lot of people with this method. A professor of pop culture on the radio was discussing Yahoo's 10 top web surfing subjects for the year. Virtually all of them were from the world of pop culture. This gives credence to the massive power of something that's ultimately frivolous and can't help us live better lives, yet millions get sucked into it because they want to feel like they're part of the in crowd. That's mass persuasion. AEF.com. Artinus2dio.com/art-in-advertising.htm. Cubics.com, highly targeted ads. Micropersuasion.com/advertising. pbs.org/wgbh/pages/frontline/shows/persuaders, persuasion industries of advertising and public relations. persuasionpro.com/advertising. persuasivewebsite.com. Mind control/psychotronics/brainwashing. Some guy on one of the podcasts at cuttingthroughthematrix.com said they have a remote control device which they can point at you, and depending on which button they push can create certain specific thoughts and emotions within you. Tesla seemed to have been working on early mind control machines. They say the Big HARP project up north is a massive mind control program. Some people say the government is spraying things on people out of airplanes and beaming waves at them, all in an attempt to develop a science of mind control. Advertising professionals use religious preachers' mind manipulation techniques. Brainwashing is also called thought reform or re-education. bibliotecaplieds.net/sociopolitica/esp_sociopol_mindcon14d.htm. changingminds.org. cracked.com/article_16656_6-there-using-on-you-right-now.html. csj.org, International Cultic Studies Association. Consumer psychology websites. mycp.org, Society for Consumer Psychology, APA Division 23. psychologytoday.com/basics/consumer-behavior, Consumer Behavior Guide, Psychology Today. consumerpsychologist.com, Consumer Behavior, The Psychology of Marketing. theconsumerpsychologist.com, The Consumer Psychologist, blog. Anti-advertising websites. creativity-online.com/adcritic, critical perspective with searchable database of ads. ucan.org/telecommunications/landline/telemarketing, UCAN's anti-telemarketing guide. adbusters.org, Adbusters magazine.